I saw amazing people with amazing businesses struggle. Like they weren't just struggling to do business, they were struggling to keep their head above water, to pay themselves. The pain far outweighed the benefit of staying in business. And witnessing that, I knew that what I was doing bookkeeping was not enough. Crunching the numbers is not enough. Business owners need more. And like you said, it's what you don't know.
Welcome to How She Built It. I'm Carrie Augustine Boyle, CEO of Automate and Elevate. Around here, success isn't accidental, it's built. What if the reason your business isn't profitable has nothing to do with how hard you're working and everything to do with what nobody ever taught you? You see, most entrepreneurs are out here grinding, hustling, doing all the things, and still not keeping enough of what they make. And I used to think that was a motivation problem or a marketing problem, but today's guest is going to reframe all of that. She spent 8 years as a bookkeeper watching brilliant business owners struggle from the inside. She saw every leak, every blind spot, every expensive mistake, and she decided to do something about it. She built her own multi-million-dollar business and a consulting practice specifically to close the gap between passionate entrepreneurs and real profitability. I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend from the other side of the world. Yes, she's my actual friend, Miss Carly Weber. She's a business consultant who doesn't coach from theory. She looks at your numbers and she finds what might surprise you.
And thank you so much for having me. I mean, how many weeks have we been trying to make this happen? When
Facts.
you're on one side of the world and I'm on the other, like the struggle is real. But
You
look,
got that right.
you hit the nail on the head in the intro. When I was bookkeeping, so actually let's rewind further back. Back in 2005, right, purchased our first business. And I just knew we were going to win. I knew that we were going to do whatever we had to do what we wanted to do, which was back then, all we wanted to do was just to be able to have kids and not go down to one wage. Nearly 21 years on, it's
Mhm.
like, obviously, we're still there and we're still crushing it, but it's been a journey. That's what then led me into that bookkeeping space because I realized that there are things that I have strengths in that other business owners don't, yet they need that. And I thought that doing their bookkeeping would be enough, like just crunch their numbers and they'll be good. But what
Mhm.
I saw in there was I couldn't unsee it. I saw amazing people with amazing businesses struggle. Like they weren't just struggling to do business, they were struggling to keep their head above water, to pay themselves. The pain far outweighed the benefit of staying in business. And doing so, like witnessing that, I knew that what I was doing bookkeeping was not enough. Like crunching the numbers is not enough. Business owners need more. And like you said, it's what you don't know. You don't know that you don't know, and that
Mhm.
hurts you.
Mhm.
So, being that my clients were like family, and that's exactly how it is in my consulting practice as well, I know them so well. Their kids, what they're going through, on a business level and a personal level, I couldn't handle my emotions watching those clients face the adversity, like the pain and the strain. So that's when I actually stepped out of bookkeeping. I actually shut that business down because emotionally it was destroying me. But taking that like step away made me realize, and it like took me a couple of years. In 2023, when I came with this idea of consulting, I was like on the rise. That's what we are. Like we're always going to be on the rise. And it started out offering a mastermind. Then I've obviously pivoted into one-on-one consulting as well.
Love that. And she touched on very briefly, I think you said something along the lines of like doing what you don't enjoy doing or something like that.
Yes.
It's just me and Carly talk all the time for reference.
Mhm.
Like we're in each other's DMs all the time. We're always on Zoom calls. We're chit-chatting, we're talking business.
Yeah.
And for me, the gap that Carly fills is something I thoroughly do not enjoy doing, which
Mhm.
is numbers, right? I go
Yes.
to her, we talk numbers, and we're gonna get further into this in this conversation, but I just wanna stress that
Mhm.
she and having someone like her in your wheelhouse where they can do something that you don't enjoy doing
Yes.
is worth its weight in gold. So, the bookkeeping
Absolutely.
and you doing all that, like, that is truly your lane of genius, and it's proof is in the pudding. You've done it with yourself, you've done it with countless other business owners, and
Yeah. And I should mention that I tried to pull away from that because I had this like preconceived notion that it was like, but number crunching is so boring. Like, why can't I do something more exciting? Like, have a look at what you do, Carrie. Like, I feel like I look at you and I'm like, what you do is so exciting. But here's the deal. The impact that I get to make through their numbers and teaching business owners how to fall in love with their numbers and that then
Mhm.
don't need to be scared of it, that is the exciting bit. And having those messages come to me, which is like, oh my gosh, look at what we've just done. It changes the game.
For sure. All right. So you've mentioned or described, I should say, you've described working with clients who are making multiple six figures and they
Yeah.
still can't pay themselves, right? They're
Mm.
working too many hours. They're questioning if it's even worth it, right? Quote unquote worth it. I mean, how many business owners have I talked to where you're at that point where you're just wanting to burn it all down? And unfortunately, I think that it's more common than we want to admit. So,
Yes.
what is working with you actually look like? So for a business owner, the
Mhm.
business owners that you work with,
Yeah.
paint the picture. Like what
Yeah.
is going on behind the scenes
Oh
when
my gosh.
you first start digging in?
There's really two kinds of business owners that I work with. And I think we'll mention the first, which you've already touched on it, which is they're struggling. They
Mhm.
can't keep their head above water. They really have, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, they don't know what they're doing. Because here's the deal, we can open a business so easily. We can all have a skill that we know the world needs, and we're like, we're open for business. But what those that have been in business for a long time know that it is so much deeper than that. And it's like you're opening a can of worms, but you
Mhm.
cannot control the worms, right? And I don't like worms. I'm not here for that. So, so going in for me, it's like honestly, there's a level of chaos. There is a level of stress. There is a level of emotions running the business rather than the facts. And when I come into work with them, that is where my genius starts to like rebirth in their business because I'm like, right, this is where you are. Like now let's fix it.
Mhm.
Let's cut
Mhm.
through all the crap. Let's diminish. It doesn't mean it'll always go away. You're always going to have feelings about your business. There's always going to be like a level of chaos, dare I say it.
Mhm.
But to be able to make it like organized chaos instead of just unruly chaos that gets out of control, that is the sweet spot. So coming in there, 9 times out of 10, I'm not helping them make more money in the first few months, 6 months, even a year. I'm really there to help them build that strong foundation so that when we then set an income goal, a revenue goal,
Mhm.
we know that it can be built without the chaos, without the stress, without the emotions that are ruling your life, and more importantly, without that unnecessary sacrifice. Because you touched on it. Business owners that are earning multi six figures are often sacrificing their family, sacrificing their health, and sacrificing other areas of life that actually mean a lot to them.
Mhm.
Why? Because they don't know better. Like they know there's a better way, but they haven't yet found it. Then going on from that, there's like a second person that I work with. And I put you in this category, Carrie. It's like you got some big goals or you've got some goals. It doesn't matter, big, small, whatever. And you know your business is doing well where it's at right now, but to get to that next goal requires something different. So
Mhm.
then again, I can step in and we can be the calm within the storm whilst they're crushing their goals.
Love that. And
Mm.
something I took a note when you were just talking. The first thing that came to mind as you were kind of breaking this down is you're coming in after the novelty has worn off,
Oh,
is what I was thinking, right?
yes.
Because yes, business owners are excited. We're jamming, whether it's a storefront, like a brick and mortar, an online business owner, like we have this epic idea. We're going to run this business. We're going to have
Yeah.
so many customers. And you know what? More times than not, you guys, like that's true. You open a store, you have customers for the first 30, 60 days. But when the novelty wears off and the true grit has to come in, that's when people hit that phase where they need someone like you in their back pocket.
100%. And like, if we look at our first original business that we purchased, which was an auto repair shop, which we still have today, the novelty wore off years ago, right? Like,
Mhm,
the
mhm,
reason why we continue to show up, yes, we do amazing. Yes, it provides us with an amazing life. Yes, we've generated more than $18 million in revenue in that time. But the novelty isn't with the money that we're making. Like it's like, cool, we've done that now. Okay, holy moly, we've created more than we ever thought here. But here's like The systems that I've got in place over there, we've been running for pretty much the whole 21 years. It's not exciting. But what
Mhm.
excites us is how we get to look after our clients, how we get to serve them, how we get to be there, the answer to their prayers, in essence. That is the bit that most business owners never get to that point. And that point there, right, is a lot of business can feel like it feels a little bit illegal to make so much money, right?
Isn't that the truth?
Because business gets to be easy and it gets to be simple. What we do over there, we could do it with our eyes shut because we've got the foundation.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
that's something that I'm really passionate in because I see so many business owners be a volunteer or they feel like they're on a sinking ship and they feel like all is lost. It's not. It's not.
Facts. And this is something I wanna make sure that anyone listening really heard, right? Because this is something that I see that plays out on the back end, right? People try to grow their way out of a profitability problem, and what
Yeah.
Carly is saying is that doesn't work because we have to we have to fix the foundational pieces, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you hit the nail on the head there. You can't grow your way out of profitability problem. Because what happens is you're going to make your goal is I'll just make more sales which makes me more money, right? That helps in the short term, but what you're doing is again the whole analogy of you're opening another can of worms that you haven't even predicted is going to happen because every move we make there is another move that happens behind the scenes because of that one move. Is it putting pressure on your systems? Is it that you can't actually handle the workload? Is it that you're already working 60 hours a week and by taking on more clients, you're now going to be working 80? You then create a taxation problem that you haven't actually predicted. See, it's just like, I just can't deal with that.
it spirals. It spirals, truly.
It
So then
does.
we get somebody like Carly, right? You come in with a numbers first approach. You go
Mhm.
through the financials before you even make any recommendations to fix everything that you just touched on. So, what does a diagnostic look like? You
Yeah.
know, somebody comes to you, they're frustrated, they're overwhelmed. They went from 40 hours to 80 hours. They're barely paying themselves anything. What are those first steps? Like what's
When somebody starts working with me, the first thing that I do is send them a questionnaire. And if there is multiple people, like a husband and wife, or there's two parts to a business team, I get them to fill out the questionnaire separately, not
Mhm.
together, because not only want to get the facts, which are the numbers, but I want to get how they're feeling and what
Mhm.
their perception of the business is. So I combine that with then their profit and loss that they send me if they run a cash flow forecast, which 9 times out of 10 businesses don't. And then I know it's scary, right? Then I have a look at the numbers and I marry that up with what the client has answered in the questionnaire.
Mhm.
And a lot of the time, it's like when I go there for our first appointment, it's like, okay, am I right in assuming this? Knowing full well it's not an assumption, it's the facts. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. How did you know that? Because they actually hadn't said that, but I can read between the lines between the numbers and their questionnaire. So once we have that diagnostic and we have agreed that this is exactly where they're at, not just like the feelings of it, then I give them a plan. And I'm like, I know that the first thing that you're going to say is you want to go out and you want to make more sales, or, like I actually plant that seed, but that's not what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to approach it. And they're like, okay. Now, at that point, they have got so much faith in what I'm sharing with them because I've already hit the nail on the head with the problem that they're feeling,
Mhm.
even without them verbalizing it. So then that's when I give them a timeline, a plan, and it goes to mention, I really need to mention this. I'm not in there to be their employee, nor am I there to actually do the work for them. The whole purpose of me consulting with their business is they're getting my genius to be able to implement in their business. Okay.
Mhm.
And the reason why I mention that is because a lot of people think I just need a bookkeeper, I just need this, I need help to carry the load. No, you need to know your business better than anybody else before we start delegating. And
Gotcha.
because it's not going to solve the problem. The bookkeeper's going to crunch the numbers just like I used to. You're going to get the numbers and you're still not going to understand what that means. It's not going to help you make decisions and you're going to land yourself in the exact same position you are now. So, whilst it may sound mean that I am going to ask you to work, I'm going to ask you to do different things in your business.
Mhm.
There is a method to my madness, and it is that nobody will care about your business more than you do. So, in order for you to give it the level of care it needs, you need to be the CEO.
Got it. I need to unpack some of this. I'm
Yeah,
taking notes as you're talking. So, rewind, cash flow forecast. Give us the cash flow forecast for dummies. Like what
no,
okay,
absolutely.
let me ask that in a better way. Who needs to be doing that? Like, and I'm being honest because I'm not doing that. So I just want to know, is that any business owner? Is it a business owner of a certain level? Is it something you do once a year? Is it something you do every quarter?
Yeah.
Like, give
So,
me cash flow forecast for dummies.
this is one of the non-sexy jobs that you're gonna have as a CEO of your business, and every single business needs it, and here's why. A lot of business owners, and I'm gonna start with this, then I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna do it. A lot of business owners, as we said before, will try to grow their way out of a problem. I just need to make more money. My first question to you is, well, how much more money do you need? They don't know their financial commitment to know how much money they need to make to be able to make their life better. Okay,
Mhm.
so the whole mission behind what I do is to be able to help business owners build a business that funds a life they love to live. So what are the
Gotcha.
financial commitments? That is exactly what a cash flow forecast is. So we have now all of you can take this. I want if this is just the one thing you get from me and it changes your world, please come and tell me. Okay? Open up a Google sheet. You're going to have 12 tabs across the bottom, one for every single month of the year. You're
Mhm.
going to have down the left-hand side, you're going to have every single withdrawal that comes out of the business, loan repayments, your wages, expenses, any withdrawal that's going to come out of your business is going to be down the left-hand side. Across the top is going to be the days of the month. Okay,
Mhm.
you're going to put in there when those withdrawals come out. Now, what
Mhm.
happens when you do this, because we want to be able to predict what's happening next month, is a lot
Mhm.
of those are going to be regulars. They're going to be the same time every month. You've got subscriptions coming out, you've got insurance, you've got direct
Mhm.
debits, you've got weekly pay for yourself, I hope. Now you're
Uh-huh.
going to be able to build them moving forward. Now, what happens 21 years in at our workshop, and I can tell you exactly how much money we need to make in the business before the month even starts. And I break that down to be a daily sales target. Okay. Now, there's some things that I put in the cash flow forecast that your bookkeeper and accountant are not going to tell you. And they're things like your wage. There's also things like a buffer, like a savings, just like you would in your personal budget. When
Mhm.
we put the extra in there, we're going to be able to see what it really takes or what's it's really going to take us to be able to not only satisfy our financial commitments, but we can get ahead and start building some wealth.
Oof. That was loaded, and I hope everybody had a pen out. If not, you're probably gonna pause right now,
Go
rewind
back.
for a second, open up the Google Sheet, and do what Carly just said because I get where that makes sense, and I get 100% where it's necessary. Does it seem overwhelming for someone like myself that does not love to do bookkeeping?
Yes.
100%. But the whole point of this episode is to talk nitty gritty,
Yeah.
get down to it, because you can have the best marketing in the world. You can have the best product in the world. You can be on the best street corner in the world, but if you don't have what Carly's talking about right now dialed in.
That's also the what's the point of making $1 million in sales if you're not even taking $100,000 home? Like, and that is a lot of businesses. They can look really successful from the outside, but if you then
Mhm.
took a step deeper and had a look at, okay, how is the business owner doing? Have they got a big, fat, juicy personal income? A lot of
Mhm.
them don't because they don't even factor it in. They're paying themselves the sloppy leftovers. And a lot of the time, there's not even leftovers. So like, if you're listening to this, this is uncomfortable. And for some of you, you're going to be afraid of doing this because you're going to be afraid of what it's going to tell you. Okay. But it also goes to mention, and I know Carrie's going to share with you how you can reach out to me and get help. But if you're sitting there, because I've done this with Carrie, it's like, I need your help. Like, I can't do this on my own. You need to like reach out, Instagram, emails, whatever. Like, Carrie will share with you how you can reach
Yeah,
out.
and honestly, I'm happy Carly touched on that because at the end of the day, I say this all the time with the people I work with, and this is a skill that I have learned over the years. Why the heck are we trying to do things that we don't enjoy doing, right? When you come up with a business idea or you launch a business or you build a business, yeah, it's cool to wear 30 different hats because you're trying to figure it out. But as the business is growing, 3 months in, 6 months in, 2 years in, 18
Mm.
months in, whatever, you realize what you don't enjoy. And
Yes.
at the end of the day, if you can delegate those things, your business is going to be that much more successful.
Exactly, and you're gonna enjoy doing it. So that's why at the start, you would have heard me say you need to do this before you delegate. And the reason why I say that is if you set up your cash flow with my help or on your own, then you have somebody like a bookkeeper or an admin person in your business actually manage it for you. When they give you the information, you know exactly what you're looking at. You're going to see the alarm bells, you're going to celebrate when required because you already know how to do it. But no, you don't need to keep doing stuff that you don't like to do, but you do need to get it done.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So I I want to take a minute and kind of celebrate something that you had shared with me just the other day about a client because here's the deal. I am able to visualize and relate when I can truly see or hear a story of someone else, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's back
Yep.
in the day when I was selling weight loss supplements and I got into that industry, somebody told me their results and I was like, yeah, I want those. Like, tell me what to do, right? So, you had just shared with me the other day a client that you recently have helped. And I think it would be extremely valuable for this episode if you can kind of walk listeners through
Yep.
where that business owner was,
Mhm.
what they had tried, the
Yep.
transformation that they're now having, and that success that you shared with me the other day.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And this is why I do what I do. So, my client came to me at the start of December last year because she found me on Instagram. Now, this woman has been building her business for 36 years. And at the end of June, so in Australia, our tax year is July to June. So, she had her tax work done. And for the first time in 36 years, she had run at a loss of $89,000. So,
Pause. 36 years, you guys. Let's rewind to when Carly said business owners and getting successful. You would think somebody 36 years in would have it dialed in.
yep. So she said to her accountant, "What am I doing wrong? How do we fix this?" And the accountant said, "Nothing, just keep doing what you're doing." So when she jumped on a call with me, I was like, "Hell no. That is BS. Do not listen to that." And she's like, "That's why I'm here with you because you sound like you know what you're talking about." So let me frame this. She did not have the money to invest in me, but she did not have the choice to not. And this really, she was between a rock and a hard place. Anyway, fast forward, we established. So I sent her the questionnaire. She sent me the profit and losses. I saw all the numbers. I then got her to send me through the individual payroll. Like it was deep. And we made some changes. We changed how she was advertising. We set up a cash flow forecast. We cut the wages by $15,000 a week. A week, right? It was massive. She's a big business. We also streamlined a few of the other, we have direct debits that come out and we don't need them anymore. So we eliminated those. We made a few other changes.
Mm-hmm.
Another change that we implemented, which was really powerful, was how she serves her clients from the moment they make a booking to the moment that they get their dresses. Okay. So she's a wedding dress designer. And so that part of it was really exciting. We implemented it. Then I get a text message, and it was on the last day of March. And she goes, "You are not going to believe this. If no other money comes in, we've already exceeded $200,000 in revenue this month." And I'm like, "What? This is crazy." And she goes, "I can't wait for our appointment. I've got money in the bank and I've been paying the bills and blah, blah, blah." So I had her call only just 2 days ago. She sent me through the reports. She's like a star, like an A grade student, right? So she sends me all the reports. It's ridiculous. I can't help but get excited. So her profit is incredible. She generated $200,000 in revenue. We've cut all of
Mm-hmm.
her expenses. She has $60,000 in the bank. Right?
Nice.
And paid all of her bills. Anyway, she also sent me her quarterly, so January to March, what her sales were. So basically her profit and loss. Now get this, her sales are down from last quarter of the same quarter last year, but her expenses are significantly low and her
Mm-hmm.
profit is up. She's already sitting at 100,000 in profit just for that one quarter.
Bananas. Mic drop moment. Yes, celebrate, please.
No.
Okay, so recap. Like sales, if you guys didn't hear, are down. Sales have not even gotten better, but
Mm-mm.
profit is up
Mhm.
and expenses
I
are down.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep, exactly.
Insane.
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 So and March was the first month for her last year that started to take a downward spiral. So it's ridiculous. And it's a reminder. Okay, when she started, our goal was not to increase the sales, not to make more money. We did not have a revenue goal. We had a let's fix this money problem goal. Okay. And so we're fixing the money problems. I'm telling you right now, I'm already forecasting it. April, revenue will be up. May, June, all the revenues are going to be up. And
Mhm.
I'm hitting the nail on the head that even though we've only been working together for so we will have worked together for 7 months out of the 12 by the time we end our Australian financial year,
Mhm.
her figures are going to be significantly better than they were last
Mhm.
year. Like there'll be a profit, there'll be a tax bill, there'll be all the things. And why I plant that seed is because we're already forecasting what to do about that.
The forecasting part. It's the
That's right. So
forward.
we're not going to create another problem from a problem because that is what business owners do. They'll fix one problem and create another, and then fix that problem and create another problem. I'm all about fixing problems and eliminating the next problem before it even becomes.
So freaking powerful. So you're already forecasting where you'll be at like month 7.
Yeah.
And then do you already loosely have an idea like a year? I mean,
Hmm.
okay, so let me reframe that question. You got all of her information.
Yep.
You went through all the things. You
Yep.
made the recommendations. We're now on this upward spiral. Then what? Do you add things? Do you like what?
Yeah.
I guess I just have questions. I have, yeah.
Yeah. So we're fine tuning. So for her, for example, it's everything from will be increasing stockists. So she sells out of her own shop, but she also stocks other shops. So there's going to be all of those kind of things, potentially expand the team. There's so many avenues that you can grow. But as I said before, if we had focused on that, to fix the
Mhm.
problem, we then would have
Mhm.
created a bigger problem because we would have had more expense. So
Mhm.
the most important thing is not only when we're setting the goal as a business, but also the business owner. What
Mhm.
is the goal for you in the next 12 months? Like when do you want to have time off? What do you want your schedule to look like? How do you want to
Mhm.
spend your days? If we don't know that before we set the business goals, we're going to set business goals that don't align.
My mind goes to this is where my mind goes as you're talking through this stuff
Mhm.
because I'm averse to bookkeeping. Let's be
You
100, I
are.
don't love this stuff. But where my mind is going, because I'm trying to make analogies. As I'm listening,
Yep.
this is how Carrie's brain works. I need analogies. My analogy, as you're talking about this, I'm trying to relate it to fitness
Yep.
because a lot of people that have a fitness goal, you go into the gym or you want to be toned and they think, oh, in 4 weeks, I'm going to have a lifted booty and my triceps are going to look amazing when I have, tank tops
Yep.
on, all the things. But I think you would agree that there's a lot of similarities with what you do, what you're describing with
Yes.
people that are going through a fitness journey. You're adding and deleting and testing and tweaking, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. Exactly. And it's a constant so one question I ask at the end of every month, I send my clients an email to get a recap of the month that was, plus a plan for the month moving forward. And I ask them, like, what was working really well? Like, what are we going to keep? What are we going to delete? And what are we going to tweak? And I want their opinion before I even look at the business. Because, like I said, there has to be an alignment. But so many times people go into business and it's like, they see this vision of, but I only want to work 2 hours a day and I want this, but I also want the multi-million dollar business. And but also this is where I am right now and it's not working. Unfortunately, there's going to be a grind initially for you to be able to get to there. It's like you've got to, like when you go into the gym, you're not going to get triceps or biceps or a nice booty by just working out once or working out
Mhm.
even for 30 days. Like,
Mhm.
you've got to put the reps in to earn that body. That's exactly what we're doing in the business. We're putting the reps in, taking the action that's required, Okay, we're fueling the business with the things that it needs. We're fueling ourselves with what we need as the CEO so that we can get what everybody sees online, which are these gorgeous bodies, is a gorgeous business, wildly profitable one that funds the life you love to live.
Drop the mic. 100. You just
Yeah.
hit the nail on the head, which takes us right into the last thing that I want you to talk about,
Yeah.
what you recently rolled out, because I think that this is a game-changing way to enter into your world with
Yep.
a simple diagnostic that
Yep.
anyone listening or any business owner that's struggling can immediately take, get
Yep.
feedback, and get connected with you. So tell them about that because it's something that, y'all, I have begged this woman to put something like this in place for a hot minute
Yep.
because we've hopped on. I can't even tell you how many Zooms, and what she just did on this podcast, we've done and
Yep.
sorted out
Yeah.
together on an Excel spreadsheet. But I wanted her to be able to help more people, to help the masses. And I think that this tool is just the beginning piece.
Exactly. Yeah. So, first of all, I need to give a special mention to Carrie because this is her zone of genius. Like, my brain is very strategic and practical when it comes to business. I can see things other people can't see. That's exactly what Carrie does with all of her genius. And so, like she said, for 12 months, we've spoken about this. And I'm like, but I don't get how I get my brain into this. Well, she did it. So I created with my brain power, with her genius, we have created a thing called the profit leaks. And within 3 minutes, you're going to be able to see exactly where your business is leaking profits. Now, these are not magical numbers. You are going to basically take the link that Carrie gives you. It's leaks.carlee, Carlee, the letter J, Weber.com. You're
Yep.
going to go
I'm
in there.
going to link
You're
it below
going
the
to
episode.
enter. Yes.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
enter all of your exact monthly numbers for your business. For those of you, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, I don't know where to get those numbers. Get it off your accountant or your bookkeeper, but you're going to enter those numbers into the calculator and it's going to identify and compare your business to the industry benchmarks to see where you're sitting. And it's going to identify exactly where your business is leaking money. Now, it's going to actually spit out a response. It's going to tell you exactly what the problem is. Now, you're going to be able to take those results and do one of two things. You're going to be able to go, yep, I knew it. I knew that's where I was top heavy. I knew that was taking all my money. And you may be able to implement what you need to implement in order to reduce those profit leaks. Alternatively, you may be sitting there thinking, well, what do I do now? Of which you're going to have the opportunity to book a free call with me to let me help you do that.
I love that so much. And just sharing this, y'all. Like Carly said, you're gonna plug the numbers in. Maybe you don't have an accountant or a bookkeeper. You can do what I do and just open up your bank statement and look for the payments that you're making for certain things and easily fill it out and get a, what I'm gonna call, like, a bird's eye view of your
Yes.
business. Like Carly said, you're gonna have a quick diagnostic. And if you have that heart palpitating moment of, I need to fix something, Carly is a schedule button away. You get on
Yes.
a call with her and you see how she can help
Mhm.
plug the leaks.
Yep. And the biggest struggle in business comes from this. And I want to mention this as we obviously get ready to wrap it up is that the biggest reasons why businesses struggle is because they struggle in silence. They don't raise their hand. They don't say help. Or if they do, just like my client that come on board in December, she raised her hand the right way, the way that we all think we should, which is accountant, where am I going wrong? And just going with that answer, because if she had gone with that answer, her business would not be here today. I can guarantee it. She would have had to have closed it down, and that would have been absolutely horrific for her and all of the brides that are not going to get to wear her amazing gowns, all because she would have struggled in silence and accepted something that she knew was not right. She knew that piece of advice of, oh, you're doing fine, was BS. So, my question to you is as you fill this out, and I hope you do, if you don't have all the numbers, you can plug a zero in there. If you want to book a call with me because you know that you need help, you can do that also on that actual sheet. Maybe you're just like, screw that, I'm not doing it on my own. I want you to help me. Okay. Because I do have limited spots available and maybe that's what you need.
I love it. Boom. Carly in your corner is what I just thought of. So,
Yeah.
Carly in your corner. So, on that note, let us know, where would anyone listening best find you on social?
Socials would be Instagram, or for those of you, you could jump into LinkedIn. I'm on there as well. Absolutely.
I love it. And my closing question would be, if you had to think of like your dream client. Loaded question, but who listening would be like an amazing fit for your services? And listen, you don't even have to nail this down specifically. Maybe it's a whole plethora of people.
Do you know what? It's probably more of a how they're feeling. And the feeling is like, excuse my French, but screw that. I know there's more in me. I know that my business could be doing better than it is. You are ready, as our coach says, Carrie, you're ready to move the world in your favor.
Love it.
I believe that to be true, that we can do it. And so you just know that you're at that moment. You've already drawn the line in the sand. You've just been waiting for somebody like me to come into your life that says they're ready to help you. That is where I'm at, because the people that get the best results working with me are the people that have drawn that line in the sand, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to build the wildly profitable business. Like, I don't give you my numbers to boast, but one of the reasons why I landed here is because there are so many people coaching businesses because in theory they know how to build a business. That doesn't mean they know it but through facts and through lessons and through nearly 21 years of doing so. So take my wisdom and take my genius and let me help you carry the load and show you what you need to know and what you need to do in order to build a business that funds a life you love to live.
That was such a good answer. That was seriously such a good answer. And I appreciate you so much. You are going to move mountains. This
Yeah.
conversation is one that needs to be heard. So if you're listening to this episode and one of your biz besties or someone you know in business came to mind, go ahead and click that share button. I'm going to leave Carly's diagnostic, her leaks diagnostic here below. I'm going to link all of her socials here below. And yeah, reach out to her, give her a follow, give her a shout out, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, Carly.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Here's what I want you to take away from today's conversation. If you're working hard and still not keeping enough of what you make, that's not a hustle problem. That's a knowledge problem. And knowledge problems are fixable. Carly just showed us what it looks like to actually go into the numbers, find the leak, and restructure a business from the inside out. And the results? Clients doubling revenue and profit, going from a loss to growth, stepping out of the day to day grind. And that's what happens when you stop working harder and start working on the right things. Go give Carly a follow, find out how to work with her. She's the real deal, and I'm so glad she's my friend. If this episode hit home for you, share it with a business owner who needs to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now. New episodes drop every Thursday.